What's up, guys? Carl at Damage Hitter coming to you again today with not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 free tips. But before you come in and check them out, I need you to please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Decided to grow this channel, and I'm going to do it with this long video for you talking about the 4 free tips that I like to give. For those of you who sent me DMs, text messages asking for tips, I've decided to post this video and keep it up. It'll be in my profile everywhere. Come inside, check it out. I'm so excited about these tips because I know they make players better. Let's do it.
All right, guys, again, Carl at Damage Hitter. I have tips for you today. I got 4 tips, and I'm including a 5th. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you know what the 5th tip is. But I have 4 tips. People are constantly asking me for tips on their hitting, tips about their swing. They send out videos on the DM and my text message wanting to get information about how they can improve their hitting. And what the deal is I feel like people are looking for a secret sauce, looking for something quick. And to be honest with you, there isn't anything quick. So there's the 6th tip. There's no quick fix. There isn't one. So I'm going to bring you my tips, free tips that everybody needs to have. All right. So the tips are this. I put it into a simple sequence so you can remember them. Timing, intent, plain, and self-centered. So we're going to talk through them. Timing, guys, one of the most difficult things in all of hitting. The pitcher's job is to disrupt your timing. Your job is to get on time. What I found out is nobody knows how to be on time, and I mean nobody. And why I know that is because when they have an issue with being on time, they all go back to the same thing. I was late or I was early. Why were you late or early? Well, because I didn't get my swing done on time. Well, my good hitters know if they're going to be late or early before they swing. Just like you know if you're going to be late or early before you swing. So let's take, for instance, you have a doctor's appointment. You have to be at your doctor's appointment at 6 p.m. and it takes you 30 minutes to get there from your house. You know you have to leave your house at least 5:30 to be on time. What most of us do is we leave a little bit before that so we have time for some incidents along the way. So we'll leave, let's say we leave at 5:20. So if a stoplight's a little long, or if emergency vehicle goes through, or there's an accident, we can still navigate being on time and being comfortable. Well, same thing with hitting. The difference is there's no appointment time. The pitcher actually creates his delivery, and within his arm action, from where his hands start to the time that his arm goes around and comes through, is the time that you need to be leaving. What's leaving, Carl? Leaving is your load. When you start your load, that's leaving home to get to be on time. Now, what are we trying to be on time for? Specifically, the pitch, the fastball, not the curveball, not the changeup, not some random idea. We need to be on time for the fastball. So we do fastball timing. At some point, if a guy throws 100 miles an hour, you're probably going to need to start your load when he breaks his hands. If a guy throws 52 miles an hour, you're probably going to start your load when he gets out to the release point. And there's plenty of space in between there for you to start your load. Now, here's the fun part. You have to know this before you get in the box. That's why you have the on-deck circle. That's why you have the dugout. So I watch team after team after team, player after player, stand on deck, swing their bat around in the air to act as though they're getting on time. And then they get to the plate and they're not on time. And you ask them, what are you doing to be on time? Well, I thought I was on time. I was on the side, timing them up. How did you know you weren't on time? I was late. I was early. Well, it's too late. See, what you have to know is when do you need to start your load to be on time? So when you ask a player, when do you start your load? And they say, I don't know. You know they can't be on time. Everything else from that point is luck. And we're trying to be on time for the fastball. So we call early timing, a guy throws hard, we need to leave early. A guy throws soft, we need to leave late. That's a simple concept, but it has to be taken care of each and every time to make sure we're ready to go. So to add to timing, the next thing you have to do is you have to learn adjustability. But first you learn timing and then you adjust. What do we adjust to? We adjust to off-speed pitches. We adjust to pitchers who do the shimmy and then pitch. We adjust to that. But the first thing we learn is timing. Hey, when are you starting your load? Okay. The adjustment is, oh, I started my load early and I was late. So then I need to adjust to a later time in that arm arc, in that arm circle, in that arm action. We work into a later time, that's an adjustment. So timing is important of the fastball. Knowing when you start your load is the foundation of being on time. When do you leave home? That'll get you on time. If you leave home within 15 minutes and you have a 30-minute trip, you're not going to be on time. You can go 100 miles an hour. You're not going to be on time. You have to leave on time to be on time. Tip number 1, timing. The second part of timing is adjustability. And after you learn how to consistently be on time for the fastball, then you learn how to adjust. And we should adjust pitch to pitch. If we were late, we should adjust when we need to start. We thought we needed to start here. Now we're going to start here. And we should work constantly on growing our ability to be on time with focus about when we need to leave. That tip in and of itself is enough to change you as a hitter. But now we're ready for tip number 2, intent. One of my favorite terms coined by a good friend of mine and now a scout. He used to talk about intent when he talked about pitching. And he used to say, you got to throw hard to throw hard. And we started turning that into you got to run hard to run hard, or run fast to run fast. You got to swing hard to hit hard. You got to really put yourself into a position where you're swinging hard. Now, because of the way youth baseball works, most of us have learned how to hit in a non-competitive situation. So when you're 5 or 6 or 7 and the players on the field aren't good enough to catch a routine ground ball, throw it over to first base, catch it. What happens is you're trained to just put balls in play. You have no intent except for to put the ball in play. And then you get on first base or second base or you hit a home run and everybody cheers for you and tells you how great of a job you did, but you didn't use all of your ability. You didn't have 100% of your intent. And you've trained yourself into this. Then you get to be 9 or 10 or 11, and all of a sudden your in-play balls, they're not very hard. Nobody's really excited about the fact that you're putting the ball in play regularly, and you're not excited. So what's happened is you've failed to train your intent. Intent for us as a hitter is going to the plate with the purpose of hitting the ball as hard as we humanly can. That's an individual purpose. Some guys will learn or will be able to hit the ball harder than others, but we're trying to maximize individual power by having individual high levels of intent, a maximum level of intent. Many of us don't train with a high level of intent because it's hard to control our bodies and be accurate. So we got to train with a high level of intent so we can learn how to be accurate. And when we do this, we learn to really embrace the numbers game. If I swing my bat hard 100 times, I'm going to hit 50 balls hard. If it takes me 300 swings to get it to 100 intentional swings, then it's going to take me a lot longer to hit 50 balls hard. But if I get 100 out of 100 hard intentional swings, then I'm going to get to my 50 a lot faster, which makes my numbers game a lot better, which increases my potential as a hitter for batting average, for on-base percentage, for power, and for RBIs. Just embracing the intent of our swing will increase those numbers by being more efficient with our intent. Now, another reason people don't train intent is because they can't do it under control. So if you don't practice hard, then when it's time to go hard, what happens is you get out of whack, you get out of control. Most people say you lose balance. I'm not a big believer in balance as though you're standing on one foot. I'm a big believer in dynamic balance. You work hard and fast, and by doing those things, working fast, what happens is you put yourself in a situation to where you can do those things under control at your maximum ability. So if this is your max, and this is where you are, we're constantly working to swing harder and faster and stronger to get up towards our max. And what else happens? Well, we grow, we develop, we lift weights, we get stronger, and our max goes up. So our intent of our in-game swing is pushing up towards our ceiling, and our ceiling is rising. And this is where a good coach comes into place, where he pushes you. Oh, you think you're pretty good? Well, your ceiling's gone up, so you got to get more. And this is why exit velocities go up. This is why hand speed goes up, because players grow. Not because I have a secret sauce that gives you a tip that makes you all of a sudden have incredible hand speed. Not because you learn how to cheat the system on the T work for exit velocity. It's because the work you do outside of the batting cage, the nutrition, the strength conditioning, the stretching, those things take your max level up. And then you push your intent higher and higher and higher. Now, the thing about intent is we got to apply it to game situations. When there's a 3-1 count with the runner on third, our intent should be to swing our face off, try to hit a ball as hard as we can that goes into the parking lot. And if they catch it, it's a sac fly, no big deal. If we're down by a run with the runner on second in the third inning, then our intent should be hit the ball behind the runner. And if we're hitting the ball behind the runner, we might have to turn our intent down and be in a good position. Another adjustment to intent is a 2-strike approach, which you don't see very much if you watch professional baseball. But the reality is the 2-strike approach is vital to being a complete hitter. And that's you bringing your intent down to where you can be more under control and place a ball in play consistently, fight off a strike because you didn't get it all, but not swing and miss a ball completely. You have the ability to, with less than 2 strikes, swing with a higher level of intent, trying to do more damage. And with 2 strikes, turn it back a little bit and try to get yourself in a situation where you're putting a ball in play to help your team at least be a tough out. Strikeouts aren't tough outs unless they're a 12-pitch strikeout. Strikeouts are not tough outs. So the intent is to come out and learn how to swing with a high level of bat speed, creating your most power. And then the adjustability is to put yourself in a position to where you can regulate that intent based on the game situation. Tip is no more or less quality than you are as a hitter. So we're halfway through our tips, and the quality of you applying these comes down to you individually using them, learning how to use them, and applying them. All right, the third part of our tips is playing. And that's being on plane for the pitch. Again, it comes down to, just like timing and intent, we're working on being ready for the fastball. We're getting on plane for the fastball. So when we rotate into the pitches, we know the ball's up, then our swing's gonna come from our shoulder. We're gonna rotate into the ball and drive through its high. We're gonna be on top and drive through it and get forward. That will give us a little bit of an elevation action when we get out to the front, and we'll be able to still drive the ball. But what we don't wanna do is come from behind, underneath, and up through the pitch, because the plane of the swing will be like this and the plane of the pitch will be like this. And we wanna make sure we match the plane of the swing. As the ball gets further down in the zone, our shoulders will tilt more as we rotate into it, and we'll be matching the plane forward down. And as it gets lower, we'll be matching the plane more forward down. The adjustability part is seeing where the pitch is and adjusting top of the zone, middle of the zone, bottom of the zone as we rotate in the swing. Playing is vital for being a quality hitter who makes good contact, and it helps us create backspin on pitches. If we're up above, from below the plane to up above, it typically helps us create top spin balls that go out in the field. They don't carry as much. Now, there are some hitters, if you want to do some research on, like Phil Plantier or Mo Vaughn, who would swing straight up, hit the ball as high as they possibly could, and it'd land 422 feet out in the outfield. Oh, that's into the stands, and it'd be a home run. But the majority of us need to drive the ball to have that opportunity. And we do that by being on the plane of the pitch so we can hit it late, hard to opposite field, middle of our swing, hard forward, and out front to the pull side. Having a good plane allows us the ability to be on the ball longer, give us more room to hit it, which increases our hard contact. And a high percentage of hard contact on the fastball will get you to the big leagues. A high percentage, remember this, of hard contact on the fastball will get you to the big leagues. Now, a fastball is not 78 miles an hour. We gotta be training for 90, 95, 97, 98, and be able to put a high percentage of hard contact on those fastballs by having good timing, having great intent, and working on the plane. Remember, the adjustability in this is what you have to do on every swing. You have to know where the pitch is and adjust to that area. Our last part of tips, these free tips to help you develop as a hitter, is self-centered. One of the things that I pride myself in is helping players develop life skills. Life skills start at home and they're carried out on the field. The way players behave on the field is how they're encouraged to behave at home. So this tip is for you as a hitter as well as parents. All right? Being self-centered at the plate. And a lot of people would call this selfish, and a lot of people would make this a negative situation, but we're at the plate trying to hit. As a hitter, we're at the plate by ourselves. Yes, the coach can yell out some instructions. Yes, your parents can remind you 72 times about what you need to do with your back elbow being wherever it needs to be or whatever they decided. But the reality is you're there by yourself. And we know the strongest part of you as a human being is your mind. If you're self-centered at the plate, what happens is you don't react to things you can't control. Your total focus is on what you can control. So the pitcher won't throw you a fastball. You're not talking about, like, he don't even throw me any fastballs. He must be scared. No, you're focused on what you got to do to hit the pitches he is throwing or to take them when they're not strikes. The umpire makes a terrible call, which they do. You're not going, I don't know why he's calling that. That's you focused on him. You're not focused on you. Hey, he's calling that a strike today. I got to hit it. Or I choose to take it and strike out. And I'm okay with going back to the bench and say, coach, that's not a strike and I'm not swinging at it. As a hitting coach, I'll mark that down in my book. I like it. You're standing on your understanding of hitting and you're working. As a manager, I need you to put a ball in play right there. As a parent, I don't want you walking away pouting. I want you to go up there and compete. But many parents can't wait to say that umpire is not fair. He's making it hard on you to get a hit. And it should be fair because this is a competition. It shouldn't be fair. It's not fair. It's difficult. And for us giving excuses, we're creating bad hitters. Good hitters go to the plate. They keep their focus on what they're trying to do. They know their zone and they embrace the fact that they know it's not a strike. And they don't swing and the umpire calls it. They'll collect themselves. They'll put their hands together, put their head down. All right, I got to swing at that on strike 2, but I don't have to swing at that right now. I got to get a good pitch. Get their sign, and they'll get back in there. There'll be no shaking of their head. There'll be no, that's not self-centered. That's being a whiner because it didn't go your way, and it's not going to go your way. The guy on the mound is getting paid to get you out. He's as good at his job as you are. If you say he stinks and you get out, what does that make you? So quit talking about him. Talk about you. In that bat, I swung at a bad pitch. In that at bat, I took a bad swing. In that at bat, I fouled off the best pitch I got. The guy made 2 good pitches and I'm out. In that at bat, I blasted his butt. I took care of business. In that at bat, I swung at a pitch that I probably shouldn't have swung at because I felt like the ump was going to call it based on what he's done all day. And you know what? I got a hit anyway. Self-centered, being focused on what you can control and let it be a part of your life. I hate, and that's a strong word, but I hate seeing players on the field or off the field throwing their hands up when it doesn't go their way, shaking their head when it doesn't go their way. That means they're not self-centered. And let's be real about this. The mind takes between 8 and 13 seconds to get rid of a visual, something that it sees. If you see a ball, it takes between 8 and 13 seconds for that to go out of the way so you can really concentrate on the next one. Well, if you take that in and then go to, and it becomes an emotional deal, you extend your 8 to 13 seconds, which means your butt is out. You're out. So we gotta get you to focus on what's going on. So for you guys that are hitting with me here at the facility, when somebody else is feeding the machine or throwing you front toss and it's not the pitch you want, and your first thought is, hey, throw it like this. Hey, do it like that. Hey, da-da-da-da. Hey, be quiet and get a hit. Figure out how to time what he's doing. Let the coaches coach. Let the pitchers pitch. And you do your job. Now, back to our video right now. And if you're here watching this and you're watching games on the field, quit umpiring the umps. Play baseball. I don't watch baseball. For parents, watch baseball. I try to sit at angles where I can't see the strike zone if I'm not coaching because I don't want to talk about it. All I want to talk about is how the player that I'm there to watch responds to what's going on, how they are focused on what they need to do. And each time I see them not focused on what they need to do, I know that their ability to perform decreases. And the only reason they're out there is because they want to play well. So let's get ourselves self-centered and ready to go. So guys, the adjustability of being self-centered is when you get out of line of doing that, you quickly come back. Somebody can make a suggestion or you realize I'm doing that, I'm not going to do it anymore. And then we build it so it doesn't happen. We stay focused on ourselves all the time. All right, guys. So the 4 things we got. Tips for you to become a better hitter. Number 1, timing and the adjustability. Timing for the fastball and the adjustability to other pitches or the pitcher's delivery. 2, intent, swinging with your best bat speed, trying to do the most damage you can do each time, and the adjustability based on situational hitting or the count. 3, playing, Learning how to get a swing that stays on the plane of the fastball regularly, and you can adjust it from the top of the zone to the middle of the zone to the bottom of the zone. And we here at Damage Hitter are working on that right now. So you should be ready to hit the high velocity fastball today when I see you and get on it. Number 4, self-centered. Learning that when it's time to hit, I'm in here focused on what I can control, what I need to do, how I need to work, and then doing that to the best of my ability. Self-centered action will increase your abilities at the plate and on the field because you're focused on things that you can control. Parents, help players out by not focusing on things they can't control. Don't whine to your players about the umpire stinking. If they bring it up, go, yeah, that was a bad pitch. What'd you do with strike 1? Yes, I saw him call the strike 3 that bounced. It's a bad pitch. What did you do with strike 2? Oh, you didn't get anything to hit that in? Okay, great. Umpire stinks. Okay. I'm not here to raise an umpire. I'm not here to raise a coach. Coach makes you take the first strike. That's the coach's job. I'm not here to raise him. I don't care. Whatever his rules of engagement are, so be it. What I'm here to tell you is the opportunities you do have to be successful, you need to take full advantage of those. That's how I parent. That's how you can parent. That's how we're going to parent so we can have successful hitters. We're not going to make excuses for them. The umpire is not there screwing your player. You and I have to be there supporting our player so they can get the job done even when it doesn't go their way. Self-centered, the 4th tip. And adjustability. Ability is the 5th tip. The ability to take what you know and apply it, navigate it, move it, make it work in a way that makes you successful right now from pitch to pitch. Now, I've really enjoyed these 4 tips. And the 5th tip to me is the one that makes it all come together. Knowing these things and applying them and adjusting them is what makes it all come together. So these free tips, all for you to apply and get going. Timing, intent, plane, self-centered, tips, and then adjustability. Till next time, when in doubt, hit it out.